Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Collegiate Tetris League. Today, I am Doue. I am here with Gyzzl.
Hello, that's me.
Yeah, and today we have two NYU featured matches for you today. So, we're all the NYU fans. Hopefully, you're here to watch our matches. We have a lower league match right now with NYU's Team B versus Amherst, and we have the after this match, we have the upper league match with NYU A versus, what is it? University of Washington A, I think? Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, those are the matches we have for you today. But starting off, we do have the NYU B match, so we can take a look. So I do like how we have the lower league this time around because I haven't commentated any of the matches previous to this, but I think it's nice to, separate some of the matches so that, I think these teams will have, more opportunities to play with other teams that are, closer in skill versus I think if we did have the huge Swiss bracket with, 44 teams this year, I think the first few rounds would have been, a bit rough, but
yeah,
here we are. And what do you think about this matchup? I looked at the seeds and it does look like NYUB has quite a bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, I think it looks like the overall average skill level or rating rather. I can't say skill level because I haven't seen it. But the average rank seems to be higher for NYUB, although Amherst does have the U rank in Cool TM.
Yeah, I don't think NYUB has a U rank per se, but yeah, I've definitely seen SS ranked players take on U ranks. Without too much trouble, but I think Amherst is going to probably have to combine some good drafting with some, really good play in order to take this one. So they're definitely the underdogs here, but we'll see how they do. And especially against the, NYUB seeming, looks like they're putting up a very united front as all the plants on their lawn.
Yeah,
in a
fighting
column.
the zombies of Amherst.
Yeah, Amherst with 4 out of 5 default profile pictures, except for their last player.
Yes, but we can make an exception for Hatsune Miku, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, chance of her taking down all the plants. But yeah, we'll see who their first players are as they do go into the blind pick.
Yes.
And, talking about the history of, the NYU team, I think NYU's been around since, CTL 2023, which is the first iteration of this team version of CTL. And back then, in 2023, I think as I was informed, their team placed last place. Which is, back then it was there were less teams, but also I think schools weren't able to round up as many Tetris players as they were in the next few years.
Yeah.
And last year they improved quite a bit, and this year they have two teams, a team A and a team B, and
yeah. They also got several new players that were pretty high ranked, right? Last year.
Yeah, I think so.
Did they get a couple of X ranks last year? Yeah.
They did. I'm pretty sure they placed 9th. I would have to check again, but they had a pretty solid record last year, and they do have their main team in the upper bracket this year as well. So,
yes.
Yeah, I think it's great to see how how big the community around CTL has gotten, so that we can have these schools that have 2, or in Waterloo's case, they even have 3 teams.
Yeah, 3 teams is crazy. I would have never expected that. Because when we were first discussing the changes to the format to be school specific rather than region, I was like, how is anyone ever going to get 5 players?
Yeah.
Yeah. Five is too many. It's more than 4. That's as high as Tetris players go.
True. You only need to count to 5 if you setting up a spike or something. But yeah, I do think I remember last year when we were thinking about allowing teams to have multiple entries. We were thinking about this will probably only be relevant for 1 or 2 schools max.
Yeah.
So we weren't really thinking about it too hard. But then this year we have so many schools with
so many
multiple
B teams.
Yeah, and we even have a B team in the upper bracket, which is honestly like really crazy. I think that's Purdue.
Yeah.
Purdue has two teams in the upper bracket.
Oh my. They got deep pockets.
Goodness. Oh yeah. Definitely interested to see if we get even more teams next year. If things also go like this, but yeah, we are still waiting on the players to show up here from, I believe it's Amherst.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, running slightly behind schedule, but shouldn't be too long now. I guess in terms of like players we have our eyes on in this match, Cool TM I think is the highest rated player,
Yes.
with being the only U rank.
Yep. So I think that's how they get used and how they get drafted will be a pretty key element, I think, in this match. Just as it tends to be.
Yeah. And in terms of NYU B, I think they definitely have a good shot of, I think sometimes some teams will go for like the strat where they send their lowest ranked player against the enemy team's highest ranked player, but I think they definitely have a good shot of, sending one of their own high ranked players to try to take on their U rank in order to get some more points.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. It's not always like, it's not always the case that you just want to sack against the strongest if you think you have a chance to take them down.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy strategy to think of, but sometimes you gotta put a little faith in your own players.
Yeah, and your star.
Because if you can, like the better thing about, like what's better than letting their player have 7 free points is like getting some of your own points off them, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I think they are starting the blind pick now. So we will see who they are starting out with from both teams in just a moment.
Gonna be in that blind pick thread, I believe. I'm gonna need to pull that up on my end. I can't see it at the moment.
Yeah, I also cannot.
All right, it's under Find Your Match. So yeah, blind pick has been started. Shout out, always for the bot, blind pick bot.
Also, shout out to Double Delete for making many improvements to our spreadsheet.
Oh yeah, the self-run spreadsheet has helped a lot in terms of our the manpower we need to run CTL. No more forcing people to be referees and sit there for 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Definitely helps a lot, and I do believe the blind pick has gone through for both teams, and we have Zorks for NYUB and Arata Kokone for Amherst.
Yes.
SS versus S rank. NYU be sending out one of their several SS ranks as the blind pick, and yeah, it's a pretty big gap between from SS to S, but I definitely think you can come out on top if you play it right, depending on if the SS player is having how good of a day the SS player is having. But
yeah, definitely not insurmountable. They're definitely still susceptible to misdrops and just covering garbage, that kind of thing. So if you get lucky, there's definitely a chance to get several points or even the whole set if they're not careful.
For sure. I mean, just looking at the stats, it looks like Works is up about 0.3 PPS and about, let's say, around 17 APM, but I feel like those are stats that can be very volatile depending on the state of the match. So let's see how this warm-up goes for these teams. Looks like Zork starting with a TKI setup. Kakone doing some more stable stacking, but both players playing not super fast at the moment. Relatively safe, I'd say.
Yeah. Kukonoe stacking 2 eyepieces over their garbage. Now they're gonna have to dig through 8 lines to access their garbage. Zork's staying
that's
pretty
definitely
low.
some of the A bit inefficient, but not too bad for either player in this warm-up so far. Zorix has a bit of cheese on his side of the board, but we would downstack that as we now look on Kokonoe's board to see if he can downstack that cheese on his own board.
Yep. Oh, Zorix is mix dropping, but sticking to the 9-0 as they open up their downstack.
For sure.
Kokonoe is still
stable.
Trying to downstack themselves.
Very slow-paced warm-up, I'd say, from both these players. Nothing too explosive so far, but I mean, probably saving some of their energy for when the main game starts. Just trying to, warm up for now.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Oh, Zorix is in a bit of a pickle here, and this is what we were talking about. The stats and the rank is one thing, but one misdrop, if you get unlucky with your timing, they can lose the point, or even several.
Definitely. I do think it's like a lot of times in these ranks, if you get a misdrop and you don't have the right pieces to deal with it, a lot of players will just pop out, especially if their board position is bad. So I think a lot of this will come down to playing safe and not going up too high on the board, because again, if you do think there is that risk of you misdropping and your opponent being able to take advantage of that, yeah, definitely have to watch out for that. All right, had the players rejoin the room for a second to reset their positions, the left and right, but looks like we're good to go now into the main match.
Absolutely. All right. Zorix again with the TKI, but Kokonoe just going into 9-0, not trying to do anything too fancy.
Yeah, 9-0, very effective usually, but no eyepiece, getting drowned in modern Tetris. What a tragedy.
Yeah, stacking that eyepiece when you're in 9-0 like that, it's pretty risky, but they didn't really have the speed to make up for it. But, oh my god,
yeah,
going for Hachi spin.
That's a Hachi spin. Big fan of that opener, but I see the misdrop Hachi spin as well.
Oh no, you hate to see it.
Yeah, Hachi spin, definitely an opener that is not very friendly when misdrop, but will get the eyepiece just in time to downstack and now able to access that huge wow.
Yes, getting a pretty solid combo.
We'll have to downstack all of this. Bit of an S-piece misdrop, and there's a lot of cheese to deal with as well because of the small surge that was sent, and it looks like Zorix is about to take this one too. 2-0.
Yeah.
Into the third round here in this match.
Yep. This time, no misdrop on the Hachi spin. Zorix is going for TKI again. And I'm not sure if I saw that incorrectly. Maybe it was just like spur of the moment misinput, but I think Kokonoe might be a single rotator.
Could be. Gonna have to look at the inputs a bit more, but
yeah,
single rotating can affect the speed of your play, if nothing else. And
okay, actually, I think they
will
weren't.
be able to.
Yeah. Oh wow, they managed to squeeze out of that situation just barely. Now able to open up their well. Zorix is trying to find a way down. No eyepiece in sight.
Yeah, big well here available for Kokonoe. We'll see if he can take advantage of it though. Had to put the J piece in a bit of an awkward spot, and is not going to be able to get too much back-to-back off that. While Zorix also has a well wide open, likely going to be looking to make that overhang to get the spike, but again has to skim because of the attack from Kokonoe.
Yeah. Now both players fairly stable. Kokonoe has access to a big garbage hole. Now they're getting down. Zorix is actually under pressure with a misdrop. Another misdrop on top of it. They might be a little bit cooked here, but
yeah, that is a pretty bad one. But no attack there on Kokonoe's board. It looks like Zorix, if given the time, is going to be able to get down here. And yeah, really unfortunate there that Kokonoe was not able to secure the kill onto Zorix.
Yeah, it looks like they were too busy dealing with a misdrop of their own, and now they're just, infinite skimming, not able to set up any pressure as Zorxis opens up their well, trying to turn things back around, and is, I would say, fairly stable now.
For sure, as we say that, was able to send the T-spin over, is going to send another T-spin. Definitely getting into the groove of things. Does a T-spin single, but is unable to preserve back-to-back with that, and yeah, I mean, I think despite everything, Coconut is still doing a good job, playing, staying alive at the very least in this game, but it is going to have to find some opportunities to set up some actual attacks if he wants to, get any points here.
Yeah.
Bit of a misdrop there on Kokonoe's end. Was going for the T-spin, but he spun the T, and now again in a situation where he just needs to continuously skim. Definitely would be, I think if I was working in this position, I would be trying to use this opportunity while my opponent is skimming to build up some back to an attack that actually kills my opponent.
Yeah, I think both players, misdrops aside, because, things happen. But both players right now are spending a lot of time just doing a whole lot of nothing.
For sure.
Not to be toxic.
Yeah, and as we do approach the 3 minutes 14 seconds mark in this match, it's definitely coming down to who can survive. As we're finally getting to the point where gravity kind of matters in Tetrio match. I think
yeah,
Kokonoe not able to make those decisions fast enough. 3-0 now for Zorx.
Yeah, also like covered their garbage at the top and kind of sealed their fate.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like you don't really think about gravity at all in Tetris, like in modern Tetris, because of like usually you're placing closer to the bottom of the screen and game doesn't go along fast enough. But like when you are in these situations at 3 minutes and you're like not used to playing at the top of the screen with this gravity, like the amount of time you have to make a decision is actually significantly less because the pieces are falling. And definitely think Kokonoe might have been a victim of that in the previous round there.
Sure. It's like one of those things where it's like not a problem until it is, and then it's a big problem.
yeah, definitely. Like when things are going well, you just don't notice it at all. Like it basically doesn't exist. But second, things are not going well.
Yeah.
Let's see if these players have this problem in this match. Was a bit of an explosive start. A lot of attacks being sent around. But as I say that, I was going to say this round has been pretty calm, but Zorx able to send those attacks at the right time, bringing the lead up to 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, despite the score, though, I would say that Kokonoe is doing a decent job of holding up despite the gap in rating.
For sure.
They're definitely able to survive well. And, as the counterpart to that, it's been pretty hard for Zorxis to find the kill on them.
Yeah, right there was a really awkward J misdrop, but it could have been fixed with the L spin, but I don't think Kokonoe was able to visualize it there. It's still alive, but needs some eye pieces to get down, a lot of skimming, but as I said, that Zorx doesn't seem to quite have the attack ready to counter.
Yeah.
It has 2 eye pieces though, but covers the
misdrops. And they're under pressure. Kokonoe gets a point.
Yeah, right as we're complimenting his ability to survive and stuff, able to take advantage of the point, and just as we saw in the warm-up, a badly timed misdrop covering the well definitely can take you down, no matter what the rank disparity is.
Oh, getting a little greedy on stacking the eye pieces there.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do 9-0 type openers, you definitely want to at least have an eyepiece and hold in order to get yourself down from the top of the board when you need to.
Yeah, for sure. It's so important to be conscious of your eyepieces when you're doing that because you just have so much less flexibility.
Like, it's definitely a very stable form of attack, right? Like, that's why everyone kind of does it in lower ranks, but since that lack of flexibility is a thing, you just have to be ready to use an eyepiece. It's available to you whenever.
Yeah. Now, Kokonoe in a pretty safe position, just skimming and waiting for Zorks to give them something to work with.
Yeah, another common thing you will see in slightly lower ranks, just like waiting for something to happen, basically.
Yeah.
Take advantage of your opponent's sends.
It's also definitely, I think, a pretty valid strategy. Oh no, it's one piece away from the down stack. But I think it's a pretty valid strategy when you have the numbers disadvantage, like as the lower statted player.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you don't want to send them stuff to work with, and you might not be confident in your ability to upstack as efficiently as them. So it's hard to threaten them with your own pressure.
Yeah, if you just stay low and, hold on to your eyepieces, it basically forces them to either, kill you in one attack, and if they don't, you're able to, strike back and potentially do some really serious damage to them if they aren't, ready to counter that back as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you're basically giving yourself a chance to get lucky, right? Because you're dragging out the timer and saying, okay, well, eventually you might misdrop, and if you do, I might be able to, get the kill that way.
Yeah, now, and I think Kokonoe was almost able to use that earlier when he had the eyepiece and the T-piece to count.
Yeah.
They're too rough, and Zork's able to close this one out 7-1.
Yeah. But they did get 1 point. They got on the board, so no sweep.
Yeah, despite the rank differential, taking any points off someone that's up like 20 APM, 0.3 PPS on you, definitely nothing to be ashamed of. Very well played from both of these players, and ready to go into the next round.
Yeah, NYU opts not to go for the counter pick. I think that makes sense. You're not giving up all those points for nothing.
Definitely no reason to do so, especially when you have a lead like that. I think it would probably be definitely something you would do as a closer ranked match, or a more specific thing you want to do.
Yeah, if the score of the set was closer, it'd be more worth. But NYU now sending out Suffix, the Cherry Bomb, whose fingers hurt. Rated at SS.
My fingers hurt
as well.
Yeah. Sending out the Cherry Bomb. I wonder if that'll be representative in the gameplay. Will it be really fast paced?
We'll see.
PPS wise, it's pretty close to the Zorks' main base.
Yeah. A 0.1 difference, not really huge. Yeah, we'll see what it actually looks like in motion. We'll also see who Amherst chooses to counter with.
Yeah, I think it's at this point. I think picking your players for Amherst is definitely a bit difficult, I'd imagine, because I think Kokonoe was the second highest ranked player. So going into the rest of NYUB's SS ranks, you're either gonna at some point send in your own U rank, or someone slightly lower ranked, and just hope you can take a couple points off them.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of an uphill battle here.
And
you also don't want to show your.
Saying the guy saying they had the wrong fun fact for Suffix.
Oh,
is this true?
Oh, that is unfortunate.
We'll see if that gets filled. But yeah, as you were saying.
Oh yeah, just like it's hard also because you don't want to show your hand too early and just use your highest ranked player, because then they don't have to worry about it anymore, right?
For sure. It's like having that player in reserve is what makes it, scary.
Ready,
right?
yeah.
The second they use it.
Yes, but now we have our next player from Amherst. A bit of a lopsided match here. A B+ versus SS. This is gonna be a bit tough.
If we thought the last match was a bit of a gap, this one might be even more of a gap. But PPS wise, actually, Maddie only 0.01 PPS lower than Kokonoe.
Yeah, the speed actually not a huge difference So I'm interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah, if anything, I think it will come down to if Maddie is able to somehow take advantage of some really bad misdrop on NYU's end, and looking
which
at
seems like it is. Yeah, their soft drop speed is not quite set correctly.
You can definitely tell, but
yes,
you know that's what these warm-ups are for, getting those settings figured out at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, gonna have to sort that out in this warm-up. But we can take a look at Maddie's gameplay here. I mean, at the start it was just pretty standard 9-0 gameplay.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you are at such a rank disadvantage, just staying, you know, probably sticking with something, you know, like a 9-0, but also trying to stay as low as possible. Like, because again, as we said during the previous match, if you are at that severe rank disadvantage, you do want to just be patient and probably wait for your opponent to make a mistake.
Yeah.
If possible.
Yeah, for sure. But it seems like she's, you know, earlier on her initial upstack, she made a few misdrops and spent a lot of time sorting those out. But now under a bit of pressure.
See how that is handled. And did cover the well a bit during the down stack, so he's gonna top out doing this warm up.
Yeah, and with another misdrop seal the fate. Although I will say it's a little funny to see the T-spins with such a low soft drop speed.
Yeah, it's just like it's like when you play, you know, Puyo Puyo Tetris or anything like that.
That's my love. Don't say anything about Puyo Puyo Tetris.
No, not at this. No dissing Puyo Puyo Tetris. I love Puyo Puyo Tetris as well, but it is funny.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I think the top players for PPT play like way faster than I could play, but you know, everyone just like whenever they do a T-spin, everyone's just waiting for it to fall.
Yeah. Actually, in Ultra mode for PPT, a lot of people intentionally minimize their Tetrises so that they spend less time soft dropping for their T-spins. This thought is interesting.
I see.
Yeah. But now, getting into this match.
There. Yeah, getting into this match, it looks like a C-spin opener for Suffix. I think that's an MS2. I've not seen C-spin openers in a while, but
yeah, either MS2 or Gamushiro. It's something in that category.
Yeah, the very popular C-spin openers. I think I'm not completely sure because I haven't played too much Tetris in the new season, in all honesty, but those have probably gone up in popularity ever since they nerfed the perfect clears to only send 5 lines. So you'd be looking at more, you know, different openers when you get a certain P sequence instead of just spamming PCs. And oh, what a tragic
misdrop on the eye. Oh, that is so sad.
Huge well, 2 eye pieces lined up.
Yeah.
And you misdropped the first one.
Yeah. But Maddie here, stacking 2 eye pieces in a row is very brave. Now going to have to look for a skim. Oh, misdrops immediately too.
Misdrops immediately, but is able to find the eyepiece before Suffix can send the SDPC from Suffix's side. Not able to find a perfect clear, but again, really tough situation for Maddie. And this kind of stack is really hard for a lower ranked player to get out of. Will she be able to make it?
Oh, and you can see also there, Suffix was not a diss by the way, but Suffix there was spending a bit of time trying to figure out how to close it out. They were struggling to like send enough at the end to like finish them off. So I wonder how that's gonna show in like the mid game. If maybe like I don't know, maybe it signifies that they're not too confident in their ability to upstack. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely something to watch out for. And again, you know, with the rank disparity, Suffix definitely expected the winner, but I think it does happen a lot in slightly lower ranks where after you like send your huge attack and they still haven't topped out, you know, finding that like extra bit of attack to close out the round can be difficult if you aren't used to just building attacks out of nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Suffix staying with the opener main strat. Classic.
I mean, they seem
PC
really
there.
comfortable with the PCs here. We saw it last set round too. Getting another PC here. Oh my god.
Yeah, and
Maddie
even
already
with the
does
nerfed PC send amount, if you can still like 5 lines is still 5 lines. That's still like
Oh, yeah,
the
for
back-to-back
sure.
Tetris.
Yeah, for sure.
Just will not instantly kill your opponent as it used to sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maddie's definitely spending, I would say, more eyepieces. She probably should be in this situation again when your opponent is sending these PC type openers at you.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
Probably something to watch out for then in any for future matches.
And now Suffix just sticking with 9-0. I think maybe, yeah, might not be super comfortable outside the opener, but still going to have the speed advantage. And, muscle memory plays a big role in all this.
Definitely, and Maddie up to back-to-back too, but unfortunately breaks it. Not just going to go for the 9-0 back-to-back spam, but we're not going to be able to see that today. As yeah, I think Suffix, if he just keeps playing, good and stable, it shouldn't be too hard for him to close out these matches, but yeah.
You do get a lot of breathing room against someone that is not able to send as much pressure. So, it's not the end of the world if Suffix has to take their time a little bit and really make sure that they're getting their pieces in the right spot. But also if they're, if they just have the opener memorized, that also works.
Definitely, maybe a bit representative of that profile picture. After you use the cherry bomb, you gotta wait for it to recharge before you use it again.
Yeah.
When that bomb recharges, it can definitely deal a lot of damage.
Yeah.
We'll see if Suffix can get another bomb in time here for Maddie, who is, for considering the rank, doing a pretty good job down stacking.
I would agree, yeah. I kind of forgot to point that out, but I was pretty impressed. I was expecting, not this level of down stacking from B rank.
Yeah, for sure.
I think generally that's actually a skill that lower ranked players struggle a lot with. But
yeah, I do agree that I think a lot of lower ranked players they'll get into a situation where they need to down stack and they'll just cover up the garbage hole over and over again. And it's not like it's perfect down stacking. I'm definitely still seeing some minor mistakes, but like again, with everything being said, she's definitely making it down a lot faster than some other players that I know that are around this rank.
Or even higher ranks.
Oh, for sure. I like it's definitely seen like S rank players down stack worse than this.
Maybe
That
we'll
being
see one in this
said-
match.
That being said, down stacking not the only thing that she needs to get herself the victory here. And again, if Suffix is just more consistent in his ability to send attacks than Maddie is, it's gonna be rough for her to be able to take this match, because I don't think, despite everything, I don't think Suffix has really felt any pressure at all.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe Maddie is actually primarily a sprint player, because she seems very eager to just stack eyepieces as she's doing her 9-0,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
putting her
I think that would make
on the
sense.
back foot very quickly. But
Yeah, just looking at the sprint speed, it's a 53-second 40 line set 4 years ago, which is, I think that's above B rank average sprint speed.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Yeah, another big point difference win for NYUB as they get ready to send their next player. And yeah, Maddie, good effort. Unfortunately, was not able to take any points, but that was Amherst's lowest ranked player. So from here, it's theoretically only up for Amherst.
Yes. And also, she had the Hatsune Miku profile picture, so the honorary points. The world is hers.
For sure. Should give an extra, like 39 points or something for that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. NYU preparing to send out JTEP as their player here.
Yes, sir.
Does not opt to buy counter pick because again, when you're in the lead, no reason to do so.
Yeah. Also, to give up a sweep is probably not worth it.
Yeah. No matter how confident you are, if getting that counter pick would win you that many points. Yeah, looking at Amherst remaining players, again, Cool TM still in reserve. Very strong player in that sense. Probably, I think if you're Amherst, you'd probably use them against maybe a higher ranked player to try to deny them any extra points at this rate. But
yeah, I agree because Arithmetic and Absolute Zero, the two remaining players, are both SS rank.
Right.
Both hovering around the 19k mark. So probably going to try to use a Cool TM to counter one of those players.
Yeah, but again, huge lead right now for NYU, and you're definitely going to have to rely a lot on your lower ranked players here. If you're Amherst.
Yes. Amherst sending in. Is that Michael? Is it just Michael or is it like Miyako? I don't know.
Miyako?
I should ask. I'll just say Michael. Rare instance of the lower ranked player having the speed advantage actually.
Oh, that is true.
I would say quite a bit. 0.3 PPS. I mean, not like huge, but it's not small, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think 0.3 especially. Like 0.3 when everyone's playing at 3 PPS, I think that's a lot. But 0.3 when you're at this, it's like a third of your PPS.
Yeah, it's a pretty big percent difference for sure.
But I think with speed at this rank comes misdrops, and as we're seeing on
great responsibility.
Miyako's board.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I first met Big Joe. I was like, oh my god, you burst? I was like, you burst faster than me, but every time you burst, you misdrop 3 times.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh.
That even comes down to min-maxing ability to not misdrop.
Yeah.
We'll see if Miyako can leverage that speed in order to try to claw their way back into this match for Amherst, because yeah, they're definitely looking a bit rough if JTEP takes too many points here.
Yeah, and going for a 3 wide, I have not seen that strategy in a long time, especially not in Tetrio.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if 3 wide is ever the best strategy, even if you're going for a combo. I know 2 wide has some merit in the sense that you can use multiplier, and then 4 wide obviously is 4 wide. But
yeah,
3 wide, I can't think of a use case for it.
Yeah, I think usually it's just an opportunistic mid-game thing, but
yeah,
I don't generally see it as something that you would actively go for, especially as an opener.
For sure, unless you, I don't know, just want to mess with your opponent or something. But
yeah,
now in a situation, Miyako needs to downstack through a lot of this cheese.
Yeah, doing a fairly good job of getting through it.
Yeah,
but now stacking
a lot over the garbage holes and Z-piece misdrop.
Yeah, JTEP now has an opportunity to go for the kill, but kind of biding their time. Oh, gets the Tetris. That'll close it out.
There you go, 1-0 JTEP. And yeah, I think Miyako, going for the 9-0 again, is just going to have to, I don't know, maybe if he's able to play this fast, maybe try to slow it down a small bit just to react to the opponent's doing. With the 2 wide though, big 12 spike, but
2 wide opener.
Unfazed. As far as I can tell.
Oh, not that unfazed. They're pretty phased, I would say. Many misdrops in succession. I think they have been thoroughly phased.
Phased indeed. Never talk down on the 2 wide. There's just thing with that.
Yeah. Gyzzl getting a point on the board, keeping it tied up, and going for the 2 wide again.
Going for this 2 wide. I feel like a 2 wide, especially when you're just stacking so high up, is so risky. But I guess that is where the speed comes in, right? Playing at 2 pieces per second. Not effective this time, but was effective in the last round.
Yeah. Definitely a, I would say, relatively high variance strategy compared to something that's more, I don't know about traditional, but more standard.
For sure. I think it's like, I think the reason you would opt to 2 wide is because it's easier to get that Tetris at the end of the multiplier compared to 4 wide.
Yeah.
But compared to 4 wide, you get much less multiplier, and if you do mess it up, there's a chance it just sends a very low amount of lines overall.
Yeah, and then you just wasted all that time and all those pieces. JTEP's trying to set up the TST follow-up, not able to find it, having to completely abort their plan. Now just on the defensive, trying to downstack, but opens up their well. Now Miyako under a lot of pressure. JTEP sending a huge spike. That'll close out that round.
Yeah, really good sequence from attacks there by JTEP.
Yeah.
T-spin after Tetris.
Yeah, and that also shows. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
That also shows the danger of sending too much garbage when you have the stat disadvantage, right? Because JTEP had to stop. They had to, you know, like figure out how they were gonna get their way out of that TST. But then with all that clean garbage, like that pause didn't even end up mattering. They were able to just return spike everything.
Yeah, and I think in a situation where your opponent is higher ranked and overall more efficient than you, it's really hard to leverage any speed advantage, because when you send your attack, you know, the attack you send is not going to be as efficient as your opponent's attack, but since you're faster, you probably sent your attack earlier, and your opponent's just going to be able to use that extra garbage, as you said. And JTEP now up 6-1, taking advantage of the other thing that happens when you're too fast, which is, again, misdrops everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And it started out as 1-1, and then JTEP just started running away with it. So, yeah, I wonder what kind of, if there's any specific adjustments that they made, or if they just kind of had to get into the flow of things.
I think definitely when you're against a slightly faster opponent, you kind of want to get a feel of the match. It takes a while to get a feel of it, but pretty effectively got a feel of it there. Take this to a near sweep. Yeah, Collegiate able to take 1 point early, but unfortunately was not able to follow through with the rest.
And no counter pick again from NYU. They will be sending out Absolute Zero, who is their highest ranked player. Not by a lot, but technically their highest ranked player. So I'm expecting to see Cool TM from Amherst, but we'll see what they end up going with.
Yeah, with the Starfruit, I think Cool TM is also the expected pick here. Of course, I think points-wise, NYUB has already secured the victory, but we are fighting for some points difference here. We're going to place the team higher up on the leaderboard, and yeah, Cool TM U rank going to be sent out against the Starfruit here, Absolute Zero. And I do believe this one will be a pretty close match. The two not too far apart. We'll see how this one goes for both players. Almost the exact same opening there. Both not able to find PC, and both doing the exact same follow-up for that.
OTM just kind of waiting to cycle to that T piece earlier so that they could open up their garbage. Now Absolute Zero has a well, but misdrops, has to skim. Clear it up.
Doing a bit of a skim, but was able to get the T-spin in the end. But both of these players, I think Absolute Zero playing slightly faster than Cool TM, but roughly the same speed. And yeah, this match definitely much higher energy than the previous matches we've seen so far in this set.
Yes, for sure. Oh my god, this relentless attack at the end. Well, Absolute Zero is struggling to find their footing. I think from there we already saw that Cool TM was pretty much able to dictate the pace of that match. I think after the first like initial phase where Cool TM was fixing a misdrop, Absolute Zero is more or less just on the back foot completely.
Looking for a sweep of sorts here to try to minimize that point difference as much as possible. But I don't think Absolute Zero will go down without a fight.
Yeah, for sure.
C-spin opener from Absolute Zero, and I don't know what that opener that Cool TM did was, but it was definitely kind of interesting. Not seen that one too often. But huge wall there from Cool TM, doing a bit of timing, getting ready to receive.
Setting up a fractal and stacking the T. Oh my goodness, that is ambitious. But now stacking over their garbage and opening up their well. Now Absolute Zero in a pretty safe spot with their well open as well.
Cool TM in a very stable spot, but as I say that, gets sent a good chunk of garbage from Absolute Zero. The surge for sending a tiny bit of cheese underneath. He's gonna have to dig through that to get out. But as I say that, Absolute Zero's in a bit of a tough spot at the top of that board. Seems like both players might go to stabilize here though.
Yes, although Cool TM still has a little bit of work to do to be fully safe. Just not in any immediate pressure of dying.
Definitely. And slightly messy boards on both sides, but so Cool TM will be able to get down after this. Has to forego the T-spin for down stacking, but you know, definitely the safe option to do when you are this high on the board.
Yeah, for sure. But now, pretty close to, and wow, Cool TM turned it out quite quickly. I was about to say, just they're finally able to, you know, breathe a little bit, and then immediately Absolute Zero actually pops out from the small send, or not small send, but you know, it wasn't like the full spike.
Well-timed send.
Yeah,
I'd say. Going to close out the match and go into the second match. Cool TM, bit of a TK at the start, but doesn't really extend that into LST. And now facing a lot of pressure from Absolute Zero. Has the huge well on Absolute Zero's side, but Cool TM trying to downstack as much as possible. Goes for the T-spin at the top of the board. Will it be enough to get Cool TM down? I think it will be. Just fighting for his life though. The constant pressure from Absolute Zero, very well played.
Oh yes. But that T-spin at the top by Cool TM was pretty good, very good find, trying to, you know, cancel out anything potentially if Absolute Zero messes up their timing.
Yeah, absolutely. But not enough there to not enough there to save the round. And yeah, you definitely see Cool TM opting to play it safe there. Could have gone for something greedier.
Oh my god, what a multiplier combo.
Absolute Zero just finding these great sequences at the right time. Last time it was constant pressure, this time it was just a huge combo. Cool TM definitely maybe feeling some of the heat here.
Maybe they heard what I said about the warm-up and got offended. My bad, man.
Absolute Zero here has to spend a lot of eyepieces doing that down stack, and yeah, there it is. Cool TM just very long back-to-back chain.
Yeah.
You don't really get the back-to-back multipliers as we did in the previous season, but you know, back-to-back, still back-to-back, just one extra line on top of everything. Did not even need to use the surge.
Yeah. Even the threat of surge itself, though, can be pretty scary if you build it up high enough.
Yeah, for sure. And you also get the big red warning when your opponent has a high surge. It can definitely mess with your opponent's mental.
Yeah.
A small bit. Very versatile tool. Haven't seen too much of surge in the previous few matches. I think that comes down to
yeah, I think it's just not
players.
feeling comfortable enough with the stacking, because it can be very tricky to build up a high surge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, you have to make sure that you're staying safe and not just maximizing your back-to-back. So unless you're very comfortable with all spins, I find it actually pretty difficult to build up a large amount of surge.
Yeah, I think it's in the same vein as like using a long back-to-back chain, right? Because at some point you need to like, if you're not really familiar with it, at some point you need to stack very unoptimally to continue getting back-to-backs. And sometimes, you know, just seeing that number go up can like lure you into doing something that you probably shouldn't have done. Like
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've all been there.
Like how high can I stack the back-to-back in this game?
Yeah, you forget the point of the game is to kill the opponent.
You're just playing some ultra by yourself. But
now both players not sending too much back and forth. I think just trying to find a board state that they're feeling comfortable in before
playing relatively safe. Just sending a couple attacks towards each other, but neither player really building up any surge or building up any really lethal attack. Just kind of doing some skimming and trying to get their board into a cleaner state when they're ready to either send something more threatening or receive a big attack.
Yeah. I think it's kind of causing like this infinite loop too, where they just get like 2 or 3 lines at a time and they're like, oh, well, there's some cheese. Let me get rid of that first. And then in doing so, they send another 2 or 3 lines back. And that's how we end up in this kind of situation.
Definitely also seeing the occasional misdrop on each side, and I think that is also preventing either player from moving something big. But big 9-0 well here from Cool TM. Will Absolute Zero finally be able to respond though and get down to that garbage well. But yeah, despite the attacks, just breaking back to back in order to stabilize board position, but again, that will not help in topping out your opponent.
Now, Cool TM building a big tower on the right side of their board. Going to block them well. Can't spin that eye that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, doing some spins, you think it's to like, you know, maintain back-to-back. You know, Season 2 all spin rules, but just no back-to-back at the moment. But again,
yeah, Absolute Zero got pushed up a bit with some cheese and wasn't able to find a way to their garbage at all.
Yeah, and dare I say, this was a bit of a gravity issue as well. 3-minute round there, getting pushed to the top.
Yeah, definitely.
No real time to down stack.
For sure. Now Cool TM doing some timing, trying to go for the counter spike. Has a pretty insane well to work with. And that might just be it. That's a lot of pressure, Absolute Zero. Yeah, going to fall there to the opener.
Very smart from Cool TM there.
One of the dangers of DT in this game for sure.
Yeah, and I do think as well, I see C-spin openers using these kind of counter spikes more often. I think it's because they're generally low and the C-spin itself sends as much as a DT cannon, but does not have the residue that blocks off your entire board.
Yeah.
So definitely might have been a slight opener gap there, but going into this next round, I think both players have stabilized into mid-game relatively well with very clean wells, I might add, but
yeah,
no kills, so going into a slower mid-game, I believe.
TM just sending some Tetrises to, you know, put something on the table. Goes for the T-spin single instead. And now Absolute Zero is skimming at the bottom. Maybe.
I'd say both players now at the very bottom of the board, but no attacks really being set up, just casually sending some
stray T-spins here and there.
Yeah, nothing that the other player has to worry about too much, and again, not really able to build up back-to-back either. A 12 spike from Cool TM, but immediately downstack by Absolute Zero.
And a misdrop. Has to burn the eye to clear down. Not able to find, but now gets 2 eyepieces in a row. Oh my god, this is going back and forth.
Yeah, 2 eyepieces in a row for Cool TM right there, though. I think that's
oh my
the same
god.
2 eyepieces.
Yeah, the same is. Here's mine that I just got rid of. You can have them. Just the same like 8 or 10 lines sent back and forth, back and forth.
Definitely having a whole rally there between with the garbage, but Cool TM coming out on top, able to land the spike. And yeah, going to this next round, I think both players again just playing it safe until they're able to set up a huge attack for the opponent, and probably the other player looking to counter it. I think that's been a lot of what's been happening between these players, but Cool TM just usually coming out on top in these exchanges.
And wow, that was a great fix by Cool TM, by the way. I just want to point that out. Okay. Not anymore. Oh, okay, never mind. They are cooking. Hold on.
Yeah, that...
I take that back. I'm sorry for talking shit. I was not familiar with your game.
I think in terms of like fixes, I think all spins have made fixes so interesting.
Oh yes,
like the way you set things up in order to preserve back-to-back. Like normally you would be forced to break back-to-back with, you know, typical guideline rules, but with the all spin, now you're able to stack in a way that looks very strange. And as I say, that's something very strange appeared on Cool TM's board, but maybe fixable with all spins if you had an S piece. Does not get the S piece, so just has to downside normally, but a bit of a messy board to deal with nonetheless.
Oh, for sure.
Cool TM still staying not low at the moment, but relatively clean, and Absolute Zero did send a bit of clean, so Cool TM is going to be able to leverage that in his own attack. And yeah, Cool TM definitely has the better board state at the moment. A lot of attacks being sent to Absolute Zero, but absolutely zero of it making it onto his side of the board. So.
Also, Cool TM doing a 4 wide. Oh my god. It's like PVT all over again.
Yeah, but in this game, the 4 wide doesn't really do much at all. Unfortunately,
at least not by itself.
Mid game 3 wide?
3 wide. Oh, we were talking about how usually that's something you just do opportunistically. But sending quite a bit of cheese, actually, that's a bit of a pain for Absolute Zero to deal with. They're going to have to find a way to get rid of that right away, because they're under quite a bit of pressure.
Looks like a good
not able to
for the down
capitalize.
stack.
Yeah, Cool TM's, I think, was trying to screen watch in time maybe, but ended up taking too long and let Absolute Zero kind of get out.
Yeah, not too much to time in that situation, but...
Oh, but finds some pressure. Now setting up a 4 wide again. Oh, wait, but now you're giving them too much time. Oh, but Absolute Zero just panicking at the top, not able to find a way down. Cool.
Yeah, that was a really good survival attempt from Absolute Zero. I did not think he'd be able to squeeze that T-spin in, but unfortunately, not enough, because during that entire time while he's trying to find the T-spin, trying to find a way to get the T-spin, Cool TM is setting up for the next 4 wide.
Yes. Here, Absolute Zero canceling some of the garbage that Cool TM was sending. But now pushed up at the top, that might be it. Yeah.
That is going to be it.
Both players, yeah. And you know, like, I think I've been saying this a lot, but I think the score kind of betrays how close the set was, right? Especially at the beginning. Yeah. Like, especially at the beginning, Absolute Zero was actually able to put a lot of the pressure onto Cool TM. But towards the end, maybe Cool TM started to get a feel for the pace that Absolute Zero was bringing. And
for sure,
able to adapt accordingly.
Yeah,
so
and I mean, if you look at the line sent, I think that tells a better story. It's 584 lines sent by Cool TM versus 581 lines sent by Absolute Zero. So that's like what, a 3-line difference. Their attacks were basically exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. And we also did see, yeah, that's a great point too, because we saw a lot of timing from Cool TM, right? There was a lot of moments where they would pause a little bit and wait to accept garbage to make their attack more effective.
Yeah, I think definitely, despite the very similar attacking power from both players, I think that's what allowed Cool TM to come out on top and, again, win by 5 points there.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
That is going to offset the point difference by a bit, but the next match is, again, SS ranked player from NYU versus the A- player from Amherst. That's Aaron Thematic versus Yamina 778. And big advantage again from Amherst, but I think Amherst does have the ability to fight that. Alright, going into this warm-up.
Mimina going for PCO, but setting it up a little bit too slowly. Oh my god, that soft drop speed.
Definitely not the highest soft drop speed. Maybe a bit of default soft drop speed there being used. And that might affect the speed difference. I didn't catch Mimina's speed earlier, but doesn't look like she's playing all too fast as Arithmetic closes out the warm-up, playing at 2.08 PPS. 2.8 would be pretty crazy for SS.
And it seems like they average 1.02 in Tetra League, but you know, that's under the conditions of like you're playing another A- rank, right? It's not going to be the same when you're under constant fire from an SS rank player, you know. But I think also, yeah, just see a lot less confidence in their placements. They're sometimes moving back and forth a little bit, having to finagle with pieces.
For sure. Definitely might cause a bit of a speed issue, depending on, you know, if Arithmetic is able to leverage his own speed advantage and ability to attack more. But
just setting up a big 9-0, trying to send it as much of it as he can at once. Try to minimize the chances of Mimina having a large window to counter spike, but Mimina actually completely ignoring her garbage and just continuing on with her own stack.
yeah, not always the best idea, but again, Arithmetic actually not really finding any real attack from his side at the moment, only just sending doubles one line at a time. But if that one line at a time can outpace Mimina's ability to downstack, it could work. Very nice cancel there with the T-spin, but unfortunately Arithmetic get a follow up.
Also, another thing that you notice is, I believe Mimina is a triple rotator. So that's going to affect their speed a lot.
Yeah, and still go for the PCOs. I think if I were facing someone who is a lot faster than me, I would probably opt against using PCOs, because if on the off chance that I do manage to send it, and they haven't sent anything on my own board, it would probably give them a good amount of clean garbage to work with. But
well, it's only 5 lines now, so it's not the end of the world, right?
That is true. I think that's probably more of a sentiment from back when it was still 10 lines, but
yeah, I think the bigger problem is just that you're almost never going to get that PC off with that speed gap. So you're just kind of stalling to accept garbage, which, you know, in some cases is fine, but I think doing so in a way that's maybe more productive than a failed PC, you know.
Yeah, maybe just
might be a better strategy.
A good clean stack at the moment overall.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, that's
wow, Arithmetic.
Merciless. I think definitely when it comes to like when your opponent can do openers this fast, the speed gap is a really big issue. And yeah, especially if you're also misdropping maybe some tournament nerves at the same time.
Yeah, just not able to find the defenses to put up with Arithmetic's pressure.
Yeah, I definitely think in this situation, it's probably harder to adapt if you're not used to playing against someone who's higher ranked than you, but I mean, maybe trying to play a bit more safe, holding an eyepiece again, like we said when Maddie was playing. But even then, I think Maddie had a faster overall speed, so it was a bit easier for her. Whereas in this match, I think it's been a lot tougher, you know, to find these like gaps in Arithmetic's pressure in order to try to get stuff done on the side. And yeah, these
No.
disrupts are not helping.
Yeah. And you see like the APM from Aaron is actually, I would say, a little bit below average from SS rank.
Below
But
average?
Is it not?
Or I don't remember the average. Maybe it
Oh, I
is.
mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the average, but I like just based off what I would assume.
I feel like 65 is probably around. Actually, no. I
Yeah,
think
but the
season
but the
one
last
maybe,
few,
season two has
but the
been
last few
still
has
a bit.
been like, the last few rounds he's been hovering around like 40, 50.
Oh yeah, that is true. I think he's probably just opting to play safer because I think against Lamina, he's probably realized that as long as he plays safe and doesn't make any mistakes, he can probably just close out the round no matter what.
Yeah, like no reason to give them any resources he doesn't need to.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Lamina, that means very little opening for her to take a round. I think it'll come down to, again, these misdrops are really unfortunate, but I think if she doesn't misdrop and Arithmetic makes a crazy misdrop, but fortunately that is not going to happen.
Yeah,
Arithmetic
unfortunately the
takes
crazy
last round.
misdrops are happening on someone else's board. But, you know, a valiant effort. You can only expect so much from that kind of rank gap. And I think Mimina did completely fine in that regard. So, great effort to both players. And, you know, thank you to both teams for playing today.
Yeah, that is going to be 34-10 from NYUB versus Amherst. I think, you know, again, despite the average rank difference, I think a lot of Amherst players put up a good fight. And I do think a lot of the you know, scores don't really illustrate, you know, how close they were. Again, like even Amherst, like lower ranked players, like their B ranked players were putting up very good performances. I think definitely above their illustrated rank.
Yeah, able to punch above their weight class a little bit.
Yeah, with
Great to
that,
see.
we are going to go to break, and when we come back at 4:30 p.m., it will be NYU A versus University of Washington A. So stick around and hope to see you there.
Yes. But you will not see me there.
Yeah. I don't know if
Right.
you'll see me there either, depending on who wants to commentate, because I'm seeing